Today we're going to discuss one of the more haunted and disturbed places in Jefferson County, the Bass Cemetery. The Bass Cemetery is one of those places that you go even in the middle of the day and especially in the evening, where no matter what you believe, no matter what you don't believe, there is something there. The Bass Cemetery is at least 150, probably closer to 200 years old. The earliest known grave is Mr. Burwell Bass. Mr. Bass was a Revolutionary War soldier, born in 1752 and died in 1831. His grave is lost. The cemetery contains the graves of at least 3 Revolutionary War soldiers, soldiers from the Civil War, and slave graves. It is heavily damaged. There are many markers that are destroyed and missing, and possibly the people that experience things there are experiencing the souls of those who are lost because they cannot find their place of rest. Mr. Bass was the first known white man in the Roebuck Springs area, which is a wonderful ecoscape in the Roebuck Springs neighborhood right next to the Roebuck Golf Course. We'll cover the springs and the darterfish that makes it its home in another video later in this series. In 1938, the WPA, the Works Project Administration, did a survey of the Bass Cemetery and discovered 141 gravestones. Those stones are recorded at the Find a Grave site. Nowadays, less than 50 of those stones still exist. The Bass Cemetery is heavily vandalized. Stones are broken, stones are missing. One of the unusual things about it is that it belongs to itself. The church that once used the Bass Cemetery is long gone, and one of the last things that was done was they recorded a deed of the cemetery to the cemetery. The cemetery is maintained by a group of volunteers now. They mow the grass, they pick up the trash. They have no budget to do repairs to the damaged headstones. Perhaps my favorite burial at the Bass Cemetery is Mr. Montezuma Goodwin. Montezuma was one of the last victims of a duel in 20th century Alabama. He was killed in 1904 by his brother-in-law, Mr. James Sims. It seems Montezuma and James had a bit of a family feud going on, and Montezuma went to James's house late at night with a knife, intending on murder. His wife reported that James was not there. Later, they met on a dark road and shots rang out. 3 bullets pierced Montezuma, including one through his heart. He dropped dead instantly. Perhaps Montezuma is still walking the paths of the Bass Cemetery today, looking for revenge for the family feud that he neglected to finish. As far as its haunted reputation, it is well deserved. There are many EVPs that have been captured in the cemetery and various footage of shadowy figures and ghosts. There are many tales of the hauntings at the Bass Cemetery. EVP is the electro voice phenomenon. That is what you've seen on haunted TV shows and movies, where people go into a room with a tape recorder and they ask things like, "Is there anybody here? Do you have a message for us from the great beyond?" And then they play the audio back and you hear voices in the static. When I was young and foolish, some friends and I decided that we were going to go out to the Bass Cemetery and play a horror role-playing game called Chill. We got out to the cemetery, we unpacked our bags on one of the table tombs, which are now destroyed. We laid out our dice and paperwork, and then there was a scream in the woods. We don't know who it was or what it was, but we made a land speed record getting out of the Bass Cemetery. Thank you for watching this video of Tales from the Birmingham Ghost Walk. These videos are made possible by the Birmingham Historic Touring Company and viewers like you. Thank you. Well, shit. My favorite EVP at the Bass Cemetery was recorded by one of the local ghost and spirit hunters. They almost backed their car into a ditch when they were pulling into the cemetery, and later they caught a little girl's voice who said, "Don't have an accident." The dog just came by. I hope that didn't screw that up. The cemetery is gated, but the gate is never locked.